Are you ready? Pittsburgh. Hello, hello. America. Welcome. Welcome, America. Wow. Blessed be our founding fathers. Thank you for what you have given us. Now let's give it back. Get it back. This is 10 o'clock talks. This is the 10. We are 10 o'clock talks. What's up, people? How are you? Man, we're getting snow in Pittsburgh. Crazy. 70, snow. 68, winds, storms, just all that good stuff. It's supposed to get back out of here. Pittsburgh, stay alive with us here. Stay alive. We'll be fine. We'll manage. We've been through worse. We are in much worse, aren't we? We are in much worse. Got some crazy stuff I'm going to throw at you tonight. I really, really do. Hello, Beth. I know you're there. Want to just say hi. Yeah, lots and lots of things. Biden yesterday. I made a slip of the tongue. I really did. Apologies, my friends. But true. Something in my head because of everything I got going on, life, paperwork, the pay bills. We're all in the same boat. I'm like thinking in my head. I don't care that I missed it. I caught up with it. I'm like, Biden's going to be here next Wednesday. He was here yesterday in Pittsburgh. And every DBP, deplorable dirtbags as I call them, politicians out of Pittsburgh was there. The ones that never supported Trump. Never supported President Trump. Yeah, so they were all there. Remember this when you go to vote, people. You remember this? Because I got some things to talk about tonight. It's just going to blow you people away. I mean, truthfully, it will. It blows me away to even have to, lay it out and talk about it. But if I don't do it, who's going to do it? I mean, we have all these big leaguers out there who get on pages, which is cool. Respect. I get it. But then there's like a little guy like me who really hangs with you, stays there for you nightly. And that's a good thing in my mind, because that's closeness that we have that you can't get in other ways, And I do try my damnedest to get you the best I can of everything I talk about. And thank you once again, everyone, for always helping with that with your posts, because it led me in a direction that just, wow, it blew up on me. And I'm like, wow, I remember this, I remember that, this fits, that fits. I don't know if it all fits. I tell you, I'm the biggest conspiracy theorist out there, probably in America. But you know what? I'm glad I am, and I'm proud that I am, because it makes sense. There's logic to everything, and let's face it, I'm not one of these investigator movie people, but we've seen them out there, and they do put things together, but that's in the movies. I'm trying to do it in real life. I think I put some things together that's going to crush you where you think you are and question everything that truly is really in front of us right now. But I'm going to start with some Biden after I say this. I have a lot of good friends out there in Pittsburgh. I really do. And I have a lot of great friends that I'm making across America. Over in the UK, the Brits and so forth, they send me some really crazy stuff. The Netherlands. And I cannot believe the artwork that they're starting to put up after their statues came down. Wow. Some crazy she-male stuff, nudity stuff over there going on. But somebody's paying them to do this stuff. Create it, make it, and put it up. That's what they're doing. Somebody's doing it. But I want to say this. Support somebody's dream. Always try to support somebody's dream. Please, 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 please. Please do that. Hello down at the Abbey. Feature tonight, a couple young ladies in the area that work really, really hard and diligently to provide a service to you. I got to say hello to Lindsay Lewis up at Salon Atmospheres. Wow, is their place looking amazing. And I do designs by Eva. I bring these people up a lot, but they need some help. These are people that, I don't want to throw them out as they're struggling, but they could be doing much better, and we can help support them. Please look up. I do everything by Eva. Please check that out. And also Salon Atmosphere. I'm sure you'll be pleasantly pleased with what you see. They're great people, great personalities. Big welcome, Matt. They'd both hug you. but we know we can't, that 6 foot thing. They're just great. They're lovable people. Don't forget that. All right, let me get in with this here. And again, I got some other hellos I want to put on too. We're going to be talking a little bit about Biden and his false narratives of the world and $2.5 trillion needed to take us back onto that trip, huh? It's like going to a one-way trip to Mars and knowing you're never coming back with that guy. But I got news for you. And I always have. I always told you. He's not running the show. Not by any means. Not by any means. Just a quick hello to Ginger Slayer, Daniel McNabb, Stacy Smith, Eric Leon Barton, Kimberly Moldovan, Michael Johnson, Mills Johnson, Pam Emanuel, Jamie Jockins, Jerry Williams. Hello to you guys. Hello to you guys. I see everybody's, yep, you're checking again. Cool. Thank you for that. Sandra Brown, what a little sweetheart you are. Hope you're doing well out there. And remember, you're beautiful. You'll do well. You really will. You'll do well. Dory, you haven't said much to me. I guess you're angry with me, but that's okay. I still support you. John Fleshner, Vicky up there. Wow. I know you're getting some snow, right? And again, hi, Eva. How are you? Tracy Smith, what's going on, girl? Backed by your popular demand. And Terry Anderson. Oh, I got some news for you on Terry. Man, he made news. What a group they have, these Patriots. I'll give you a little bit right now. They did some good, and I'm going to come back across it, and they made news for what they do. And that just goes to show you how some of these groups are. And we need to tie now maybe all these groups together, and really come up with our own network of what we can do and how we can help each other. Instead of just, hey, I belong to this group, and you belong to that group. Hey, consolidation is strength in numbers. I know we all support each other. I know that. I know we get through things, but we have good understanding. But one nation under God. Too big of a dream, maybe, huh? I don't know, but hey, Terry, greatness, man. Greatness, honestly. And I got a nice hello for an invitation for a gentleman that threw some interest my way about doing some live feeds. Dave Lovin. I'll be supporting you in a minute, brother. I ain't leaving nobody out tonight. If I can't, I won't. I promise. But yeah, those DBPs up there want more. So, yeah, okay. Also want to throw this out real quick. Try to support your Teamsters everywhere because their pensions and everything are things aren't real great. There's things going on in different sectors of the Teamsters. Show support to those guys. Let them know you're out there. You're rooting for them. Throw them up a post of some kind. You support the Teamsters. That would be remarkably fantastic. Please think about doing that. Please. Now, let me get to the, I guess the icing on the cake here. So, Biden, he came out yesterday. And again, I apologize for where my head was and how I don't know, got away from me. Like I said, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. But all this money, and it's not going to really, again, I mean, they need so much more money if they really want to do all this infrastructure and all these things in educational programs and blah, 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 and all the goodness that he talked about. But there's no money to do enough for the United States of America. And what are they going to do with the leftovers? Again, we're right back to what is going to go on with it. We can't allow this. But let me tell you a little bit about what they're thinking about. $400 billion for care and giving jobs. So, they're like, they care about your job, so they want to support you somehow. I don't know what that exactly means. He doesn't get specific, and a couple nuts and bolts probably fell from his ear while he was talking. So I don't quite know. 213 for affordable housing, 174 billion towards electrical cars. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not. Because, Mother Earth can only take so much, too. We know that. But we have what we have. Some are brand new. They're gasoline-operated motor vehicles, and we need our oils and everything. But it's all green. I got a lot of ties to throw your way tonight, too, on that part. Okay, pre-K schools through 8, I think they're talking at like 137 billion. I don't know if that does enough in America, but all of a sudden they're coming out with this. So 25 towards, billion towards rebuilding airport infrastructure and renovations, remodelings, whatever that means. Spray more shit at us when we go in because it's COVID related. Yeah, the only thing that's COVID related is what you people were doing to the American people. That's what it is. So, okay. Another $30 billion to create jobs and support losses of jobs. And I hope that is meaningful towards of every Keller of all lives matter. I really do. Because other things came up today that just really ticked me off. I don't know where you're at with things and what you heard, what you read. You might have been busy posting and sending hearts and check marks and comments. But if you listen to me, you know why I do this, okay? So I want to put this out there to you, though, because I do know some people as well. They're going to put $16 billion towards stopping and plugging all gas and coal resources, etc., your mineral right things. Yeah, so they want to cork it. Problems with that. They may cork it, but then you're going to have to clean that all up now. All right, so if you have a gas well on your property, you make some money, you had your down payment, you have a contract, they don't even care. They will null and void your contract and release you of it because they want to stop what our idealisms of what was good for us and some of the positivity that saved people's homes. Thank God some people owned trees and so forth, which they're going to not want you to cut down any more trees. They're going to start trying to isolate that part of it too. So what do you do when you buy land for lumber? Or, you thought it one day, this is my retirement. I can cut these trees down, reseed it, start it over, but I'll be, the way of the good to the bad, it's going to all have a purpose. No more. Okay, so they want to plug it up and they want to seal it. And it may cost you more to clean up and restore it back to the property in green with their green regulations. I hate to bring that to you, but it's true. So, yeah, that's another thing out there. And I know people out there. Debbie, I know you're one of them. You're probably not digging this at all. I have several friends that have these things going on. So if you were thinking about doing that to your property, it don't look like you're ever going to have a fighting chance to be able to do it. Not at all. Not at all. At least not right now. But we keep fighting, and more keeps happening in America. There's people out there that are being active and fighting this administration. So I posted what I thought was a really good video that was sent to me through some friends that are friends to me on Facebook. And they had a young lady self-interview and kind of tagged it to them about what was going on at her job down in Boca Raton, Florida. I think it was Boca Raton, Florida. Beautiful, brilliant lady, works in anesthesiology and stuff, whatnot. Well, her supervisor, or they call the house manager, came in and for the care units, and she said, hey, this is what's going on. I want you to know next week we're expecting a major hit. And she was like, if you saw the video, if you didn't, I'll just explain it. She was like, what? Like, we just flattened, we're good, everything's flattened out. Well, get ready for what's coming. And she says, how can you be sure? And she's like that. And the boss put on her glasses and said, you know what's going on. And I guess she just, I guess I do, shrugged her shoulders. Everybody that was listening and kind of was close all reacted to it as well. What are they trying to tell us? What does this mean? I didn't only hear that today. I heard a couple other things, and I heard some things about the B117 that is a different, new, higher strength strand again that's affecting the UK. And Boris Johnson's made some announcements that he's going to start giving some relief if everything stays maintained the way it is over there. But they're monitoring and watching everything as far as that. But there are other people who are confirming this story in other ways. And somebody that I don't want to say too much here because I don't want to give anybody up. I really want to give some protection up. But I'll just say someone very close to me that I do business with. I'll say it that way. And I know for a fact they've been out of time for a couple months, and they're in the medical field. And they were fighting this whole thing, trying to help where they could help with their education, with their knowledge, and medical experiences that they have that they could bring to the table. And she had a short-term contract, and she left. And then they asked her to come back on her day leaving. So it was only supposed to be to that time. So now there's another narrative, a different way. I'm not going to say a whole bunch. I could give you more details, but trust me. Trust me. I don't have to circle back here. What I'm telling you is something. How they're doing it exactly, I don't know. I know it's the hit in the arm, the prick. A lot of the things that they can do too now are from Sky. So how, when, why? And we know in Florida, where this particular lady come from, we know the governor, he's just a godsend for the people. Him and his wife both. They're so strong to the people. And it seems like these are the areas getting hit. It really does. It seems like the areas that get hit are the ones that, in the red, opening up, no masks, etc., etc., etc. Here in Pennsylvania, I haven't heard anything directly here on any of it, but I did hear of a creeping wave, and that came actually from a couple of the morons who we know who they are. And they're signaling out little blips and bleeps of information, and they don't give enough, but I am going to come back to that, and it's going to get really, really exciting and interesting. But also so sad, more than you probably, just take my word for it. So with that said, check out the video. It's on my page, Michael Anthony, Facebook. I also believe I have it under Taking Back America, which is one of our number 10 subsidiaries of a group page that we put together. And just want you to know this. We never ask anybody for nothing. We support all small businesses as often as we can. We go to them. We send people to them. We do whatever we can. We shout them out once a week. And a little bit in between shows like, hello, Lawrenceville Motors. How you doing? So anyway, there again. And don't forget fish fries tomorrow and stuff. That's really important too. They're going to be all over the place. I will throw some out for Pittsburgh. You should be posting for your neighborhood. You know who the best to go to. Put their names up on the board. Send some people to those places. Tomorrow is Good Friday. Go for it. And by the way, that's what I'm posting this for. This is actually post for tomorrow. Just so people were asking me, hey, why are you doing that? Well, they told me 10 o'clock was too late. So I give a late night hit. I send it on. It gets out there. And then I just do a page hit at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I kind of like, a little reminder to people. Try to catch me. Hello, help me. I'm falling. No, really. Just try to watch. That's all I can say. But anyway, I want to stay concentrated here for a little bit and see what I can give you. So I told you a little bit about this person I do business with, and it just seems to me the narrative is keep them sick, keep them dying, and keep them quiet. Can you not agree with that? I'm sorry. I know it's a little deep, but it's true. And I'll give you a little explanation. I'm going somewhere with this when I put negative stuff in like that. Now, Johnson & Johnson makes a terrible mistake. Who would have thought? Really, who would have thought? But they did. Evidently, they're not going to say it, but some papers were released. You'll be seeing stuff coming on. And people were getting, I think, the wrong thing. I don't know exactly the whole story. I'm not going to, bring them down. But it was even on media who we don't care for. So if they're saying it, there was an error. What was in these vials? Don't know. Will they ever tell us the truth? Again, I don't know. And don't believe for a minute, because you see the guy who owns Virgin Airlines, Biden, in the chair, that they're getting a shot that you think you're getting. It could be vitamin B for all we know. Don't believe nothing that way, please. Don't believe nothing. And I'm going somewhere with that. And this is so freaking huge. It's beyond belief. I kid you not. And I know some of this is broke. You guys fed it to me, led it to me. And I took off with it, and I found so much information. I really did. I wouldn't even have it would take me 6 hours to go through every bit of it. It really would, because it took me all day off and on just to try to grasp everything I was checking on. So I'm going to break it down to you as fast and as easily as I can. But let's keep in mind this B117, because they are playing, and I'll spell it for you, with a B, a small I to keep things separate, and an O. And it has to do with, WAR, and you get it. Get it? I really have to be cautious here, because I know guys that were taken down just over that particular word I'm spelling. Just remember it has to do with the punch, or what we're now learning as the Frankenshot. True story. We're now learning that from Dr. Francis Boyle. And boy, I got some stuff to lay on to you. I really do. Don't hate me for what I'm about to tell you, because there's going to be some aha moments in it. And we can only assume things, okay? We can only assume some of the things. Now, the PA voting, that's an important factor, actually. Let me see if I have it here. But I want people to know, as far as how this goes and everything, what the importance of it is, because it's so important. It's so important. We have other states, Georgia and Florida fighting back, and Texas. And I don't know how well Texas is really fighting. There's some people that are like, they're not really all the way on board. It should be more tight. And I guess they go for what they can get as long as it protects the vote. And we have a guy here in Pennsylvania. His name is Senator Doug Mastriano. And on the mail-in votings, these are things that he is trying to get in place for the Senate of Pennsylvania, and take powers away from certain people and regroup it into a new structure that gives a lot of protection to everybody and makes our voting system that much better. So he's introduced a legislation to the Senate, and Pat Stefano, to end with no excuse on mail-in ballots. The legislation will mandate, certain things and provide valid excuse only if you can't vote in person. So maybe he's not even tightening up as tight as we need it. But there are some good people who work their whole lives, are in the same group as us, and they could have an incident and they do want to get their vote in. To them, it's going to be highly important. So I don't know how that part will look out, but they are trying to pull that together. And they're trying to also do the Poll Watcher Empowerment Act, and then create an elections commission. So it's going to be an oversight committee that will check everything, be there, be on the job with the other side, and there'll be a battle if something goes wrong. And that's what he's going for. So with that said, the watcher empowerment is going to be kind of like right in there where the PA citizens will approve the poll watcher, and they can, in their own precinct, and then anywhere else in the state, and they can finally watch over and look for penalties and election officials to be totally on board and not let anybody be blocked from anything ever again, etc. So that's from Senator Doug, and he's really trying to push. And hey, any effort is better effort than none, correct? Right? I think he's getting us in there as strong as he can get us in there by doing this, along with the other states. So that would be really cool if that's the case. And don't forget your ivermectin. That is more important than you can ever believe right now. And I just hope it works for everybody if they get it, truthfully. I'm not trying to be negative, because yesterday I said a lot of good on it. There's always the one case it may not help. All right, so some counties are now offering, check this out. I don't have the whole intel on this because I was tied into something else for hours today, off and on, had to run out, had to get my health foods because I like to do that kind of thing. And make time for my own head, clear my head. And they were giving me the strangest looks with this mask. It has the 10 on it. And like, what is that? Man, they're like coming up on me, and they're looking. I got this black thing on with white print. It is so cool, Mary Kay. I love you to death. You and Joe rock. Okay. So they made them for me. And, just really great people. And then I thought I was going to get like a bunch more and give them to everybody. But then we're not going to need them. We're going to need them. We're not going to need them. We need them. And it's just one of those things. So these counties now, and again, it's only going to black females only. I guess that could be caramel brown. If they have pigment skin deficiency, it's still going to, I don't know how they're going to judge us. Because, there's racism by saying black because other places say brown. You know what I mean? It's so confusing. It is. It's so confusing. $2,000 a month. Now $2,000 a month. Unreal, right? It is. It's unreal. So, I guess if you can't see a problem with it, then maybe you are a problem with it. And you shouldn't watch. What I'm telling you is the honest to God's truth. What I don't have is the location, but they're saying counties. I want to complete that hopefully by tomorrow to tell you where this $2,000 is. $2,000 is and where it will be. Like we know Cali's doing 500, Pittsburgh here's doing 500, and I'm sure there's other vibes out there, but not everybody posts them. I don't know about everything. I don't listen to direct media anymore. I just don't. I listen to Christians. Hello, Christians. Thank you for the prayers today. I saw them up there, man. I gave you some hands. I appreciate when you guys come in and do stuff like that. Don't ever be ashamed. Don't be a snowflake in this world, on a summer day where you might see one snowflake in your whole life on a day you shouldn't. Nah, don't do that. You come into our group page, you're always welcome there. It doesn't have to always be political because we need strength and you do strengthen us. We have good friends out there. April and Michael, hello. Just wanted to shout you out because you're always so pleasant to me. You really are. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. We have fun teasing each other with our posts and so forth. You got to put a little humor into life. You really do. That's where we're at. That's exactly where we're at. And, I have a lot of friends, and I'm enjoying them. I really am. I'm enjoying them. Now, this Evergreen ship and all this stuff again. Now, more's coming out on that a little bit, but I don't have the whole surface of knowledge to it yet. Basically, I guess the ship was taken over. Now, word is with some postings and media-style postings that I find in some of the group rooms, as well as some people talking and chit-chat stuff. It seems that they banked this thing off to the side. They possibly are now have a house arrest something going on, and they're holding all the crew and the captain of the boat. And supposedly, what I'm finding out of the postings, and I can only hope this is true, because I don't like to say something if it's not. I really don't. But it looks to me, from what I found out from several things, that they had a crap load of weapons. Now, where were they going? Why did they need weapons to go and, come up the canal? And I don't know. It's weird, but that's what's more of the real story than there was about any human trafficking, which I kind of dotted that anyway, but it doesn't mean that I'm right. And hey, tomorrow news could come out and break with a bunch of stuff. I'll be the first one to say, hey, I was wrong. I want to be able to tell you what I can. But what I can tell you, what it has surfaced, is they were transporting weapons. And because of that, they kind of like somebody's down there seizing the boat, in relationship to where it's at and what they want to do about it. And remember who is part of what we know of Evergreen. And I also had the Prince over there. He made some comments. He did a stream address where, all the countries were listening to him. And, he gave the fundamental thumbs up, man, for the Green Plan. And we know Joe Biden gave up to the British a couple times. He gave us up and sold us out to those people with our secrets. And we know for a fact that he did. How is this man even sitting where he is? How naive America was to even give him one vote. How naive. I got more coming up on that to tell you. Don't touch that dial. If you have a dial. Just watch for a little bit longer. You'll see. So that's what I heard on the ship. That's what I put together out of it before I got kind of like, pulled away from it. Now, I believe the channel was KGNS TV 8, and that's where Terry Anderson and the crew from the Patriots at Large were, and what they did was remarkable. They go down there and do footwork, and while they're there, wherever they're at, they're cleaning up the whole area for the communities. So if they're, doing what they do and they set up and they have their thing, then they clean up the whole thing. But I was brought up the same way. Give it back better than it looked. And that's what they did. And they had a lot of thanks down there out of Texas for who they are, what they stand for. And, I feel like I'm a little part of it. I'm in their group. I can't be there with them to support them being so far away. But hats off to you, Terry. Greatness. Really, that's greatness. Now, I also got something else I'm going to come up with that Amazon's doing. They're doing child educational books now that are just complete vulgarity. And they really are. I was thinking about putting a post up tomorrow, but it was in a way kind of filthy. But I'll give you a little rundown of the pedophilianess of, it was an uncle with a nephew. And it starts out in the book very slow, kind of like Innocent, And then they wind up, getting a little closer, and the uncle's explaining to this guy how things, this is all politically correct. It's all fine. It was pedophilia. And this is okay to sell, but remove Zeus and all that? Come on. Realistically. We need to put a bomb under these warehouses where this stuff's stored. Government projects allow stuff like this. If they don't want something under disclosure out there, they will stop a book. I've told you this before, they will. And wherever this deep is involved, and there is more than one fundamental government to the United States, without a doubt, in all aspects and more. They're an embarrassment to their own lives and their own families to allow something like this out. I don't know what their belief system is for that. Again, I'm hoping tomorrow I can get into that a little deeper, because I started it yesterday to give you some things on what my thoughts were to move forward with it. Right now I'm going to go to AOC. Everybody knows AOC, the gawking eyes and, the half lips. I don't know if she just doesn't know how to put lipstick on, but half the time you see her, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just her lips. Okay, don't judge me here. I'm just saying. Maybe it's just her lips. I don't know. Or she just doesn't know how to use the stick, I'm just not sure. She probably doesn't know how to use that stick either. But anyway, she did slam what was going on with the crisis down at the border and so forth, and said it was deplorable and inhumane. I'll agree with that to her, but let's not forget, really, you're working for the people that started all this BS, okay? You're part of the DBPs. You really are. You're part of them. You live it. And, they want her there. They have a purpose for this person that's blank up here most of the time. Maybe that's just it. Maybe they just remind her too much of Joe. I don't know. And the Hunter laptop thing kind of ties into all this stuff. Where it came from, how it began, the dirt, the dossiers. This all plays part, We know that it got destroyed. But we also know that there are videos out there and things. Some people were smart enough to keep the information. So let's see where that goes. That's kind of interesting, because a lot of leaks came out today with a lot of the information. If you see it, go and look at it. You're adults. Just prepare yourself for what you may or may not see, because some of it is, a little more graphic than others. But keep yourself to that part. So even though Daddy hushed up with friends that Hunter knew and put them in the right places to make it all go away and vanish, it just may not work. It just may not work. And we'll go with that for now. And again, Texas, again, passes a restrictive new voting bill. And I'll let you know more on that, because it seemed like when I went into the chats and so forth on a couple of posts that I seen, they weren't all into everything of that. You know, they were, but they weren't. Maybe they weren't happy with what they were reading, and they thought it could have been a stronger bill to put in front of their to put into place and so forth. So yeah, let's see what happens for Texas, because that man has been a rock star. He really has. He really, really has. Now I want you to all do me a favor, and this is another true fact. Okay, Gates does not have any real medical degree. Now, I know for a fact that this guy went to school for a couple of years. He was going for medical for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he took off out of it, and, you know, he went a different direction, and we know that. But if you were to say to Google on your phone, pick up your phone, go ahead, get it, or whatever you have, and I want you to ask if Bill Gates has a medical license or degree to practice medicine. It will tell you no. Ask this Google phone, who's mad at him? Who's the most powerful doctor in the world? And it will tell you Gates. I kid you not. He knows more than Fauci, who has a degree, but these are two dirtbags regardless. They really are. The Gates Foundation, that's a narrative that I'll be talking to you about in a minute. But yeah, he's the most world powerful doctor I asked the question. I did, and that's what it told me. Can you believe this? Can you believe that this now is going to be looked upon as history? And this man outright has brought devastation to people's lives and caused loss of lives, and should be charged for what he has done. And again, I'm going to come to you with why momentarily. So yeah, check that out, put it in, ask a couple questions. If he has medical degree, ask them who the most powerful doctor in America is. It will shock you. It will shock you. That makes me the president. Come on, I mean, really, you know? It's absurd. So, and then why all of a sudden today does marijuana get legalized? I think they can carry up 3 ounces of weed. You can smoke it anywhere cigarettes are allowed to be smoked. And there was something else to that, too, something about the oils and whatnot. I don't know if it had to do with them gummies or whatever that floats out that people talk about, or sprays in the mouth, and just different ways to absorb, you know, THCs and so forth, contents with get you high and with that don't get you high. Yeah, so you can carry up to 3 ounces in New York. I would assume Pennsylvania's been an advocate for that. We should be getting a release on ours any day then. I would think something like that's going to occur. Where were you when I was 20? Damn it. No, I mean, really. Just joking there, but I mean, really? We're going to do this right now. Sure, why not? You know, I guess they need money. They need the tax. And we know they have over 45,000 pounds seized at the border. I'm sure Joe's boys will go down, get it, and they'll put it on the market, right? Right? They got it for free. Or they're going to give it back to, what is it, MS-13 or one of these gangs that because they said the drug problem down there now is the worst it's ever been. Cocaine beyond belief. What are they trying to prove here and do? It's a really big picture, and it just never ends. The more I find out, the deeper it gets. And it's like they just have crews of people, and they're given narratives and ways to try to like figure out what the hell's going on and how to get things like this to your kids. Because it's not even for us, and we're big adults and stuff here, you know, 50, 60 years old, whatever, at least for my age group. The purpose is to drug out America. Give them the money to do it, too. Give them the money to do it. So I don't know what this whole social, racial BS board shit is all about, but they got an agenda on their blackboard somehow. They do, and they're coming strong with it. So, yeah. Anyway, good luck up there in New York, I guess. Nancy likes it down in her state in California. No matter where you go, it's there. So, yeah. Now, the Boris Johnson thing. I call him Boris the Jagoff Johnson because he's the biggest JO there is out there, too, as well. He really is. And I want everybody to know this. They're trying to do this everywhere, but he took the lead. For some reason, he took the lead and makes suggestion that this is now needed everywhere, and that's travel restrictions. With these travel restrictions are the same thing as losing your voice, the suppression of your voice and your thought, and now it's going to be your travel, which is your freedom. Man, think about it, but it's true. And these are coming to America, just like the movie. I don't know if you remember that title, Coming to America. Yeah, kind of weird, but that's what he put out there. I also want to say this for some of the religious people here, keep your faith, keep strong, keep your prayers, keep sending them to us people out here who need them. We really do. We appreciate your thoughts when you do it. We know we're receiving from you guys. I just want to say, I actually had something to do with this place, so I want to say something about it because it is beautiful and it has some great people up there. And I knew them at Amplified Church. And I just want to let you know they are doing Easter services. I think they're going to do something for Good Friday tomorrow, and they're going to be doing something for Easter for Sunday. The place is huge. It can really bring the people in. I mean, we did some shows up there when I was there, and it was of magnitude size. I mean, it's like going into a small civic arena. It really is. It's just huge. Believe me, it wore me out. It was huge. But anyway, keep good thoughts to that. Amplified Church in Plum Borough. If you're from Pittsburgh and you're looking for somewhere to go for a service to get out, I mean, you can go there, you can get coffee, donuts, everything else. I mean, they have like this own little city thing inside the place when you go in there. And it's operated and ran by very, very good people. So keep that in mind. Please, Amplified Church. And again, to the Christians, thank you so much for all the prayers. Man, honestly, I appreciate you. I do. The people who have received are still getting. They had both. They took both. They're still getting sick. It's coming out more. And why wouldn't it, right? I mean, truthfully, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Keep that thought in mind because I'm going somewhere with some of this. I want to say hi to Dave Glovin. I appreciate your thought last night writing to me and your note on your board chat. And I am interested in talking to you. I'll just say that to you and say thank you very much for considering me and let me come into your groups and do some live feeds. I'm looking forward to talk to you. I'm going to give out a shot at his groups that he is in support of. He's got the Great Connecticut thing going on now, too. Another new one. I think it's Connecticut National Group. And he has the Great American National Group, the Hardcore Conservatives Group, Americans for Free Speech. You're a rocker. You really are. Let me in, brother. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to let people know who you are, where you are, what everything's about, including mine as well, and what I do here. And I appreciate you asking me to come aboard. Let's get together and work this out. I'm ready. I am ready. I guess where I want to go from here is let me share this first. Talking about church and everything, giving Dave a shout out. I want anybody, if you can, tomorrow's a big day across the United States when it comes to Christians and Catholics and so forth, and they practice their Good Friday, they fast, they eat fish and all that stuff. Post your favorite place to eat fish in your town. Let everybody know where to go to get a good sandwich, honestly, or whatever, I'm sure they have other things. But I want to say Sharpsburg Voluntary Fire Department's having something from 11 to 7 for Good Friday. So go check those guys out. Please, go check them out. And then we have Angela's Pizzeria, home of the Codfather. And you know why I do that, Joey, if you're listening. I know when you have time you do listen, but I also know you're busy. This world eats a lot of pizza. Yes, they do. You've been up here for 40 years. You know what I'm talking about. That's a lot of pizza pies you guys have done. But, so keep those in mind. It's a couple around Pittsburgh to go to, for real. Now, I want to get into something that's a little more deep, and this has to do with Dr. Francis Boyle, and he is like a scholar. He is. He's fought for the country in different terminologies and stuff, and he has actually created, I just want to make sure I pronounce it right, what is called like the Nuremberg restriction violation laws. Anybody know what the Nuremberg violation restriction laws are? What they deal with? Okay, they deal with that three-letter word. Two three-letter words. B, small I, small O, W, A, R, and let's all go to the fair, okay? So maybe that'll keep me out of trouble. But you know what I'm talking about. It came from China. We got it. All right, so you get that part now? You feeling me? I don't want to get thrown off. I was warned. I had a written thing about it. So, and I say it a lot. I just don't want to go down. I got too much left here to do with you guys. Yeah, so I overturned my page here. What the hell are you doing, Michael? Oh, I'm right. I was right. Okay. Lost my place, that's all. I'm old. Forgive me, I'm old. No, this is really, really serious, though. I brought up a couple of things that told you I was going into this narrative, and I feel it's the best time to do it now. And this is the kind of stuff I don't like to talk about. But you got to put it out there. Someone has to do it. And I'm not the first one. And I don't know if any of you guys really know this, but it's so important that you know this. Okay, so we have a doctor. He has challenged many things and established many things and laws. And even Biden twice. One once tied with him on another level, but he got his way both times. So what we do know is Desert Storm-ish. They started to do a test and got stopped. There was 500 soldiers, our soldiers, healthy young people, soldiers. And a lot of you guys don't know this. I can remember something about it being said. I remember hearing about this going on. And I was like blown away because I didn't put it together. And this has to do with all the same stuff as right now. Otherwise known as PART. Now, the narrative that they use on anything that is in the BIO is considered Frankenshot. Okay, like Frankenstein, Frankenshot. All right. 500 received it. Out of the 500 that received it down there in the storm, their families were probably told something different. 11,000 died, and 100,000 became disabled from what they were trying to super soldier them or whatever. But it wasn't that. They were trying to put something in them to make them safer, and in a way that they should have never have done it. And it got stopped. It got stopped because of this guy and Ways and other people. And he snitched them out. He snitched them out. He led everybody up there. Cheney and Papa Bush. These were the guys responsible that did this. Okay? Other people too. You know who was in that regime when it was going on, if you think about it. I'm not going to get into all the names and try to get that. But 500,000 received this. What they were doing, like what's going on now. Because it's really just that. It's just a thing. It's what it is. It's a thing. And people have, I think, back that now. They don't even want to, they don't want nothing to do with it no more. They're afraid to even have it out there. And then we have Dr. Von Bosch that says, stop this, halt it now. And I told you about that weeks and weeks ago. I think maybe 4 weeks ago, at least. I told you that came out. But they suppress all this evidence. So these 500,000, 11,000 were killed from it. 100,000, somehow it disabled them. This guy, Francis Boyle, kept doing his work. He has books out and everything. He is a scholar. I mean, a scholar, just like Von Bosch. And that's no joke. These are the top elites in the world. They make Fauci and Gates look like total a-holes, okay? And that's the truth. All right? And there's a bunch of other people out there just as smart as those guys or close to these other guys who have put their whole lives into this kind of thing. But this man here is completely into only one thing. Well, so is Bosch. B-I and the big O, okay? And he says we're right where we are right now was right where we were then. And they know what they're doing. And they know who was at fault. And he himself, in a couple interviews and statements, said that they were all totally aware of what they were doing. And not only that, information has now come to the surface where they actually, in reports, laid this all out. laid it all out what they were going to do. Nobody stopped it. That's why he said 2 years before it happened, he told you the pandemic was coming. He knew the plan. He knew the plan. But it gets more weird. It gets more weird than that. So you have this that happens down there, with Desert Storm. I really believe that's what it was called. I don't know why I didn't put that part in my notations here. I would have liked to have been 100% accurate to that because I know it existed and where. And this is a controlled effect of this compounds that have been man-made and supported by America and made over there in Wuhan and whatnot that has now infected the world. And it's a very smart agent. It knows how to manipulate to get around. That's why people that got it twice are getting sick now. Okay? And not only that, is when you feed the sickness, then you catch the sickness is much worse. This is catastrophic beyond what you could ever imagine. This right now, right here, what I'm saying to you is not a joke on any level. None. And I totally think President Trump was deceived. He should have got rid of Fauci while he had the power, but it probably still would have occurred. I don't know what they were all sticking in their arms as good examples, but it wasn't this shit. No, it wasn't. It wasn't this stuff that you're getting. And why would other people in the industry now all of a sudden say, I'm getting out of here, I don't want nothing to do with this? Why would that happen? Why would that happen? Okay, let me go a little further here so I don't... My hour goes quite quick when I'm babbling away. And I think I'm at around 51 minutes anyway. Yeah, okay. I see everybody. Thanks. What's up, Merle? Anyway, okay. Getting back to this. So we know that we have the B-I, big O, and it is a W-A-R-F-A-R-E, okay? And it was controlled, and it was man-made, and it was infected everybody. And how, we're still not 100% sure. It didn't come up in this interview, but they do call these level of what we are seeing and what they hear, they're called Frankenshots. That's the terminology that they use because they are evil things, okay? They're evil. They call it the Frankenshots. And again, remember I told you and I spoke for quite some time on Dr. Von Bosch and what he did. And he was almost in tears with his concern to all this and what was going to happen in future dates and so forth. Because of what had occurred, what they watched happen when these 11,000 soldiers, our own military, our own government did it to, just like Agent Orange. It goes deep. These people are idiots. They're like, they do this to us, their own citizens, okay, as test labs. But we're going to get further into that because other test lab things have came up with this as well. And maybe we'll understand where Meghan Markle was coming from because I think she snitched dots on people. I really do. Now that I put this together, I kind of think she did. You're going to have to do the same homework I did. I'm not for her. I'm just saying, calling it as to how I saw it. So you have Fauci and Gates together on everything, controlling all this, always getting the narrative of government money because one was inside, he had control of the money to give it to the one outside, and they are just demons. These are living, breathing, walking demons, Fauci and the whole Gates Foundation program along with his wife. The he, she, whatever wife he has down there. Because I see pictures, I don't even know what his wife looks like. Sometimes she looks like a man, just like Mr. Obama and Mr. Obama. I don't know. But that is the true case of this. And you can't even trust any of these people. They were all plants into the White House. It's truly what they were, you know. So all of everything of the good and bads, it's still allowing unlawful acts to kill you. Here's why I wrote that. I wrote that because all of a sudden, it seems that there are a few Dems up there that didn't know some of this information when they were supporting for Joe. They didn't know about this. And now they're in the middle of it all, trying to cover it up because they don't know what to do. And we need some of their sorry asses to come forward and go into witness protections, but you don't have witness protections when you don't have an FBI, a DOJ, and somewhat of a half DOD. Who do you turn to? Who hides you? Our military doesn't have a blind eye to this, and our own military, the older generals, know that what they have done from their predecessors to them to now, as to what the narratives have always been, and now more so than anything, because they have what's called the Agenda 2035, which is the worst part of this whole deal for everyone everywhere globally. Okay? But, so you have Dr. Francis Boyle, and this guy created and wrote books about the Nuremberg violation laws and so forth. Nuremberg, I apologize. It's a double whammy, as he puts it, because they get you this way, eyes, nose, mouth, with this contagion. And then, guess what? They're going to collect on the other end with the pharma. So they made money by taking all these money to come up with this and manufacture these damn strands of crap. We know there's 36. 29 are benign, 7 are harmful. And now we have the B117. I don't even know where that fits in the narrative, unless that's one of the 7. It hasn't been explained to me, and I can't find enough on it. So he calls it a double whammy. It's, you give it to them, and then you release the cure, but you don't release the cure, because you get paid for it. You make billions and billions of dollars of something that's never going to work. And that's the narrative where they're going with the 2035 and the depopulation. Now, who they're all in bed with, I don't know. But we do know that biolabs all over the place check this stuff. We know that this is not actually, nobody actually knows. That's the problem. If Gates and Fauci know, they're not going to give that information up. Or if they did, they let the good vials of the good stuff that is a cure go into the arms of the people that are closest to them. But that's not you, and that's not me, and that's not the public in America. It's only for the politicians, the higher up people, the queens, the kings, the princes, whatever. But that's really where it's at. Now, all of this from a man who wrote the law on the lands in this. He's the one that come forth, but he's the second one that came forth. Don't forget Von Bosch. He was there right with him earlier. So let's talk about something else real quick. But it's the same scenario. When Ebola came out, and this comes from the same interview. I'm going to be clear to that. When Ebola came out, and I remember that, everybody should remember Ebola, and I read off a whole bunch of lists because I knew I was getting to this on things the other night about all these different diseases, and they say, what did we do? When we got scared from SARS, but nothing ever happened. Yeah, we get scared from a lot of things. I get that. But there are things that slip through that we never know about. Now, here's another case scenario where Gates and those guys were all involved, and they went over into West Africa. And basically, they were doing testing there. They wound up killing 12,000 people. Now, here's the connection between Harry, Meghan, and going over there, visiting, and saying that there was problems between colors and issues that have happened. And I'm just wondering in their visitations over there, if they weren't pulled aside and given a lot of the gravy of the scoop of this, where Obama screwed up and let this happen. 12,000 were killed. And he calls in for one of the a-holes of the round table that he had by the name of Klein, I believe it is. And he covered up the whole thing. He pampered it, swept it up under the rug, nothing to see here. But Obama really has 12,000 lives on his head that he created by allowing this to occur in testing over there and trust the idiots like Fauci and Gates. And that's exactly what had happened. So they knew how testings would work out and how they would work, what was too strong, what wasn't. They learned from it, even though the mistakes were gravely bad. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. There was things said, and I don't know what's considered, but it kind of fits the narrative for where she visited, the time she spent over there, the color of her own skin for that matter. I don't know. And I'm not really trying to pull her in, but there seems to be some kind of connection. And the reason I say that is why all of a sudden is money benefiting only the black women, and who is this secret person? Who is this secret person giving all this money up to them suddenly, so to speak. Keep that in mind. It's true. Somebody's donating all this money to be given. At least that's how the story goes right now. Is it the Queen? I don't know. They have a lot. They have a lot. So, with that said, you hear about Desert Storm, you hear about the Ebola, and now you come into reality here with you have this release, and then you have the Frankenshots, and you have several different. And then you have the mistake even that PMP came out with and said, oh, we mislabeled something. They did something. They put something wrong in something. It was over the media. I think I said that earlier. So you have that. And now you have this same guy back in the White House. He's in the White House. And it's said, and it's believed, that this guy is running the show for the big puppeteers. And just to let Joe and Harris go with things, but they are handled and handed scripts and papers and told how to do their jobs. And that's really how it's working. So, yeah. I think there's another one. I think his name's Sullivan. Let me look into my document here on what I have here. I want to have it right. Ron Klain and Jake Sullivan. Look into that. You'll see I'm right on this. And who they worked for before and who handled the Ebola and so forth, which ties to the Bushes and all the way back into the war of the first 500,000 soldiers that were getting the injections that were dying from them. Okay? So, yeah, you have all that, and it really makes good sense because what you have going on here are crimes against humanity, without a doubt. The people on the Dem sides need to come clean. They're probably afraid. They probably don't want to be involved. I bet you a big-ass majority of them want nothing to do with this. But now they're in so deep with the rest of them and probably being drug into it and threatened that they're going to try to do whatever it takes, like right now against all of us, to get this cleaned up. And it won't get cleaned up unless we can have them come forward. And then our military might intercede in some way. Maybe the generals will get together and say enough is enough. We have to overtake our country. We have to rescue the country from what is happening. Until then, I don't know, because I don't know where it's going to go. We have some big names out there that are good on our side, fighting for this to come out stronger, as well as these doctors and so forth, who have fought these battles before as well. And they have. They fought them, but never on humanity. Now, when they were asked about the levels and numbers, 500,000 with 11,000 dying, he said, where are we? And he choked up. He didn't cry. He just like kind of choked up, and he says, he says, we're on the floor here. He says, I can't tell you how high this is going to escalate, but it's going to happen, and it will occur. That's how well they know what's in this product. I hope you didn't get it. I didn't. I know a lot of people are against it. And I think you made the smart move there, especially now when we find out more information like this, which is even much stronger than the groups of people and some of the other people that we've seen. Like, what was her? I think her name was O'Penny or something. I can't remember the doctor's name, but she's given massive amounts of notes and informations to help us all out through that part of it. So you even have her. But there's plenty. I mean, there's literally hundreds when you count them. And the doctors that talk about all the scenarios and the medications that they use. But where is this and what is now this B117? What the hell is that? Okay? And he's calling this, what they're giving us, it's all a Frankenshot. Think of that. Determination name, Frankenshot. Like, it's like, what is it? Is it the DEATH shot, the death shot? I don't know. But that's where we're headed. You can find this. It's on. It's out there. Look it up. Google it. Google it up for the man that comes to you really hard. You know who I'm talking about. I don't want to say his name because they're following all of us. Maybe not me, but for sure him. But they do give me corrections as well. So with that all said, check out what you think about the Google doctor thing and Gates and who's the most powerful doctor. That'll blow your mind. He doesn't have a license to wipe his ass with. You know, he just doesn't. So you have the U.S. Health Security Global Services securities that where Fauci and Gates actually, but more Gates, gave documents to them. The whole narrative was right in there. The plan was right in there. Unbelievable. Why is nobody stepping up? Is there that much fear? America, it's up to us. It's going to be up to us, but we're not going to be able to do it here. My voice, we're going to have to call each other. We're going to have to talk as groups. We're going to have to do something and get away from this because they're going to want us. They're trying to suppress us. They're trying to stop the traveling. They're trying to get us into some type of corner. I don't know what it is. And they want like a minimum of like 5 billion people to receive this. Is it all total depopulation? Is it going to cause sickness and chaos across the world? I don't know. But according to Mr. Boyle, Dr. Boyle, this is going to be astronomically nuts on a level that's unimaginable to come. So we need to do something. And it's not going to be on a microphone. I guarantee you. It's going to be where if we talk about things, it's going to have to be face to face. Without a doubt. That's how much dirt this is right now. So please keep that in mind. And we need to get these people charged with crimes on humanity, without a doubt. And all the governors, because they all knew about this. They were all in on it, without a doubt. They were in on it. They killed these people. They set them up. And it has to do with some agenda to where they're going. It's just not the Green Deal, although the Green Deal plays a really big part to this 2035 narrative and everything that they're trying to shoot for. And that's the truth. So I want you to keep that in mind because it's so important. But I don't get, why does Farmer now, Merck want to, why is Merck pulling out? What's that about? What is their fear? And when Farmer doesn't want something to do with something, that just tells me they didn't come up with it. They were told how to come up with it. And now they don't like where they're at in the position that they're in. And they're trying to force feed it. That's why Joe's like, we're going to get this too. You're going to get your shot. Go take the shot. Put the masks on. You know, no. Don't listen to none of that. Don't listen to none of that. But eat healthy. Drink a lot of water. Take your vitamins. And don't be afraid to order what I told you. If you can, you go on. You can order it through Google. It's a very safe measure. It's better than anything we got going. That's what I will tell you. It is better than anything we got going, including the hit. And as the doctors are putting it now, the Franken shots. That's pretty bad when they're coming up with terms like that. That's huge. People, we need to get this out. We need to get this out. I'll be happy to do some live feeds. Live feeds I might be able to get away with. More so here, it's a recording and, broadcast upload. It's just terrible. It really is. I get speechless a lot because it's like you can't say enough and you cannot say not enough. You know what I mean? It's just, it's at that. It really is. But we do know this. Before I go, Biden has sold us out twice before to the British. We know that. And the Brits are dirty. You know, there was slavery before black people were ever taken out of Africa. And it was with white slavery. And it was all through Europe. And they were the guys in charge, stealing, disrupting people's lives, killing them. They didn't need the punch in the arm, the Franken shot. They didn't need it. But I want you to, pay close attention when you hear Franken shot. Really keep an open ear. It's coming from medical when you hear that. It truly is. So, Unbelievable. Again, I'm always happy. It's a pleasure to chat with you guys and having me in. I greatly appreciate it. Try to support who you can tomorrow for Good Friday. I'll be back in the evening for another hour episode or so, maybe a little shy, maybe a little whatever. Tonight's a little longer, but it took me a while to get to this point, and I want to give you all the best I can. This is all real serious. I want you guys to go and look up the information I gave you. And I don't want you to judge anybody too harshly because I'm telling you, I really believe there was information found out and it wasn't cared for, and that's why Harry got the hell out of Dodge with his wife. I'm not calling anybody a crybaby or a sissy who didn't say this or didn't say, but there was something more to the picture, and it fits all this too perfectly. It does. You didn't do the reading I did, and I didn't get to explain it all to you. But believe me, it's not going to be a he said, she said. It is fact in many, 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 many ways. I'm not joking with you about that in any way at all, shape or form. I just want you to be safe. I want you to eat well. Take care of yourself. Ivermectin, zinc, mercury. If you want to do other supplemental vitamins, go ahead, do it. But you know what? You're going to get a lot more out of doing a couple cups of vegetables and having your fruits and so forth. That's really going to keep your immune system strong, because if you got this, you need that more than ever. You need that more than ever, because what they're finding out that it destroys your whole immune system. It doesn't let yourself protect itself because it finds its way around. It's a smart. I told you, these think tanks. These people are brilliant. They've been doing it for years and years and years. They're just so much further ahead of us, we would have never imagined. Here's the thing that came up, and it came up with big names, not me. I'm going to leave you with this. The big question is here, is Trump's telling everybody it's safe to get. He's my president. He's done me nothing but good. I'm not going to put him in a position with any responsibility. I've said this from the beginning. If you listen to me, I blame him for nothing. I really believe he was lied and had deceit all around him in every way, shape, or form. And the people he was meeting with were already in connection with a lot of the Gates Foundation, promises of money and so forth, fame, houses, whatever. And I don't think he knew all of this. And I said this to you before. I don't think he knew it all. I really don't. He did too much good. He just did. He just did too much good. I am not even going to say what other people have already brought forth, because they're lost. They're at a loss after talking to everybody that I've talked about tonight, being with them, interviewing them, looking up, reading on everything that I have. It's nuts. I don't believe he's that man. And I really think the First Lady would kick his ass up and down that golf course. You know? I really think he had some very untrusted people in his cabinet. Most definitely. But like I said, check who's running the cabinet. Check who was there when they did all the dirty work. And let's never forget this one act. Do you remember the incident with Cheney? And he had no problem pulling the trigger when he got in an argument. They said it was a hunting accident, but we now know it was definitely an argument. So you're dealing with people who are just criminal, you know. They do get away with anything they want, and that's what we have to stop. We're not going to stop it on here, though. We can talk about things on here, but when it's time to get serious, which was yesterday, we need to get off here and talk, and we have to make better connections. We have to reach out. We have to do something. Everybody knows something that's going to get us a better connection. We need to speak at the top. We need to know where our direct line of support is, where it's coming from, and what we can do about this to help our military do better. And let them know that we support them, because we don't want to fight our own family ever. That's the last thing we want. Or our own law enforcement families, husband against wives, wives against, because of different beliefs and whatnot, because that could all be possible to happen. You know, we don't want to defund the police. We want the police. We need the police more now than ever. We need them to step up. If we can get all law enforcement involved, they could go up there and wipe this out. But they got to be careful, because there's true weaponry out there that'll just incinerate large amounts of crowds with a hit of a button. So it has to be done really, really well. But it just seems that we're getting to that narrative. It really does. They want to take us all out. They want very limited resources of people on Earth. They want a lot of off-Earth openness. They do want to get off and have a secondary measure, and I'll get into more about that tomorrow, of where their narrative is with this Green Deal and why they're doing it, and what they found out, and what some of these reasons are, and why they're supporting them. And it's all based upon science. It truly is. It's all based upon silence. And it's not negative silence, but it is. It's bad news. It's no good news. I could sit here for another 2 hours and talk myself blue to you about this, but I think enough's enough for tonight. So with that said, I'm going to talk to you more about it tomorrow. I'll pick up from this point of the Frankenshot. We're going to go right into something else. I'll avoid everything else to try to get to a description to give you clarity. I think you need clarity. And please don't think I'm a mental case. I am not. I looked and worked and read and shook my head at all this, but I know it's true. It's put together, and the credentials of the people. We have yet to see anything. I guarantee you. And when I told you the next 6 months are so important, I told you this about 2-3 weeks ago. Stock up what you need. Things are going to become short because the things that they're doing, when you can't cut down trees to make toilet paper. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. Take care of your household items. Get what you need. Prepare yourself for something. And gentlemen, whenever you're ready, we need to have a serious talk and figure out where we can go to step forward to make our world better. Because if not, it will be lost. It will. We have a way to stop some things. It's already happened, and we're going to have substantial losses according to the doctors. When, I don't know. They wouldn't say, but they said we're at the floor of it, which means look at all this space to the ceiling. And we're already seeing issues. We really are. So with that said, that's enough of me ponding your ear tonight, really. It truly, truly is. You know who I am, right? Michael Anthony, Pittsburgh. And I am from 10 O'Clock Talks. This is 10 O'Clock Talks. We are the 10. And I enjoy it. Please stop by, see me again. And don't forget, support, support, support. Small businesses everywhere. Always go out and post your fish fries for tomorrow, please. Think of things good. Christians, we need your prayers more than ever. I swear to you, everything I've told you tonight is on the level. It's up and up. If no one else is talking about it, I don't know why. Maybe they're getting payoffs. I don't know, but there's a couple really strong voices out there who come through and talk about it. And you know who that is, right? Check it out, March 17th. Look up that date. I'm not wrong, but I looked up a lot more. And this guy's incredibly right. He is incredibly right. It's not a conspiracy. No, but you're living in one. Guarantee it. But it's a fact of a conspiracy, is what the real terminology is for it. So with that said, from Pittsburgh, on a blustery night, by the way. It really is. Snowing out there and everything. It's on the grind. They're saying we're going to be 70 in a few days. So go figure. It's get sick weather. Take care of yourself. Eat soup, whatever. And always remember this. Always remember. Be strong with your family. Be strong for America. We are strong in numbers. Unity is already here. We have no racism. It's only the morons that bring it up that have the issues because they are the troublemakers in America. We don't want them. We don't want no parts of them. All right? We want prayer. We want honest to God people, and we want you all on our side. We're here. Doesn't matter who you voted for. You're going to open up your eyes, and when you do, you'll know how to react to that. From Pittsburgh, this is the 10. Don't judge me. I won't judge you. I promise I never will. Take care.